guys, and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your homegirl Bean, and I'm your blissfully single one. Welcome to my review of Ready to Love, The Last Resort. The tea is good. And the episode was very well named because yes, the tea was flowing this episode and it was good. Before we start though, drinks in hand, we are toasting to Jeezy and Gucci Mane and their verses. These two young men have been back and forth, shots fired, literally. But the fact that they took this versus platform as a way to make up and heal is a great example to all the little kids watching them. You know, this senseless killing of each other has got to stop. So I was here for the reconciliation via the verses. So we're going to drink to Gucci Mane and Jeezy. My president is black. That's the only hit I know between the two artists. Drink up. All right, we're getting into it. Brian, Chris, and Alex are working out. Just love to see it. And Alex asks Brian about how his date with Alicia went. Now, Brian says, it went well, but at the end of the night, I needed to see me some Alex before I went to bed. Brian, this is all well and good, but please stop playing with That is not what happened. In fact, the fact that you watered down your date with Alicia looks crazy because this episode has to deal with, well, 90% of this episode has to deal with the fallout between your date with Alicia. There are a lot of things that you did wrong, and you know I don't like Alicia, but there was a better way that you could have handled things. But the fact that Brian says to Alex, "Oh yeah, it was good." Sir, it was not good. Rashid decides to have a conversation with Denise, and I understand exactly where it's coming from. Rashid does not like his name being analogous or floating around or being associated with narcissism, and who would? That's like the worst thing you can be, a narcissist. Like, just die. Rashid pulls Denise aside. And Rashid says, listen, I just want to have a conversation to clear the air because I've been hearing some chatter going around about how I'm a narcissist. I just need to clear the air with you so that you can tell me exactly, man, what do you mean? Instead of Denise owning her shit, instead of Denise stepping into it and saying, okay, this is what I said, it was messed up because I really don't really even know you like that, Denise says, I get the misunderstanding. Before I get into that, I'm going to apologize on your girl's behalf. Bitch, what? You're apologizing for Adriana for what reason? Adriana didn't say that stuff. You said that stuff. I'm looking at Denise. Denise is full of shit. Why are you apologizing for Adriana? Adriana didn't do anything. You said that. Who said that? You said that. Denise said, Adriana misunderstood what I said. What I said was that you have narcissistic traits that trigger me. But let me tell you something, girl. Being light-skinned, being tall, being a Kappa, shout out to my Kappas, is not a narcissistic trait. Do you even know what narcissism means? But I guess whoever Denise was messing with back in the days when she was young, she's not a kid anymore. Whoever she was messing with, whichever Kappa, Sigma, Q-Dog broke her heart, Rashid looks like that person. And Denise has somehow taken Rashid's physical attributes or the fact that he's part of a fraternity as a narcissistic trait. Sis, that's not what a narcissistic trait is. Girl, I know you obviously went to college because a frat brother done fucked you and left you, but no, you need to do a little bit more research about narcissism and exactly what it is. And the fact that you're trying to assassinate this man's character because of what you done been through is not cool. And the fact that she's not gonna own it and she's trying to put it on Adriana, girl, go to sleep. Anyway, she's trying to backpedal and whatever. I noticed there was no apology there, but she said it is what it is. Rashid says, you know, girl, all right, girl, but I'm still looking at you like you was on some shit. I don't like Denice. Edwin, hey, Edwin. Hey, boo. Hi. Sorry. All right, I got myself together. Edwin and Nina have brunch, and it's really nice. It's a nice scene, and they're talking. They're actually having conversation of some kind of depth and quality, and they're just talking about the losses that they've incurred in life and just trying to manage that loss and just trying to let go of that loss so that they can move on and find what they need as far as companionship. It was really nice. He talks about a friend that he lost and the dog tags, or Edwin talks about a friend that he lost and the dog tags that he wears that reminds him of that friend, and saying that he had to get to a point where he had to put the dog tags aside so that he can live and not always be reminded of that loss. Naya talks about the fact that she's had 4 miscarriages. That's a lot. Oh, damn. That's a lot. She's had 4 miscarriages. On top of that, she lost her mom and grandmother, the 2 closest people to her, within a 2-month span, unexpectedly. That's a story I want to hear about. That's a lot of loss. So in navigating all of this loss, she wants to find someone, a partner, that she can kind of navigate life through. The ups and downs, the losses, the gains. I'm looking at the conversation like I see the chemistry there. I see the ability to have a conversation. I'm here for Naya and Edwin as well. This is where the show drives me crazy because it can go either which way. Naya says she had her sights set on Chris because from the get-go, Naya and Chris connected. But now having this conversation with Edwin, she can see a future or a life or companionship with Edwin. And she's stuck in the middle. I love it and hate it at the same time. Alicia, Winter, Chris, Joy, Anthony are hanging out. And Alicia says, well, let me take this opportunity to spill some tea. Alicia gives me hood rat energy, like a very young high school hood booger, project bunny, just type of energy to her. Because I'm like, you all are relaxed and y'all chilling, you're having a drink or two, and now you want to spill the tea. But child, the episode wouldn't be the episode if we weren't spilling tea. So I guess here we go. Alicia lets everybody know how Brian played her. Brian was supposed to come back to her room, but he didn't come back to her room, but instead went to Alex's room, said goodnight, and went about his way. He ain't never come back. The guys cannot believe it. Chris and Anthony like, oh my God. Alicia said, Chris, if you ain't like me like that and you knew you wasn't coming back, what would you say? Chris is like, Anthony, who obviously has some kind of conversation, said, I would say, I'm not interested, but thank you. Chris could not believe that Brian did that to Alicia. Chris says in his confessional, I mean, Brian, I thought you were done trafficking in F-boy shit. Excuse me? Excuse you? Excuse me? What do you mean F-boy shit? Okay, Brian could have been or should have been more adult about the situation. I'm probably not coming back because I'm not feeling you like that. And FYI, look at my last review. I've been said Brian does not like Alicia like that. So y'all better stop playing with me, and Brian, stop playing with me. But at the end of the day, Brian could have gone about it in a more adult fashion. But to call him an F-boy is a little bit of a stretch. And FYI, Chris, who made you the morality police of the Houston resort? Who? I know I didn't. Nobody. Joy says, since we're spilling tea, let's spill this tea. Joy spills the tea about how Simone dropped dime on Jay and his shirtless or half naked self going into Winter's room. Winter was there. Winter was taken aback. Winter was like, oh, what? Girl, naked? It wasn't even like that. Winter says, first of all, the condition that he came in my room, the amount of time that he spent in my room, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Simone spun that story to make it look a certain way or make me look bad, and I'm not with it. I thought she was my homegirl. And Joy, when Joy brought it up, at first I'm like, oh, Joy, you're just trying to be girl messy. But she really wasn't trying to be messy. She was really trying to understand why Simone would bring that story back to her in a way that would make Winter look shady. And I get it too, Joy, girl. I'm with you on that one. But during the conversation, Shay, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Shay the chef was there. Shay was the one hyping up the conversation, putting the salt and pepper, putting the pickles, shout out to my Haitian brothers and sisters, putting the pickles up in that, like making it spicy, instigating, like putting the battery in Alicia's back. And I was just annoyed, like, Shay, you are only here to be messy. And Anthony clocked that. Anthony says, I see how Shay is getting a good old time throwing the bones and watching these girls, you know, feel a kind of way. And I'm like, Anthony, you's right. Anthony peeped Shay as somebody who's only there to throw salt in the game, trying to ruin stuff for other people. And I get it, Anthony. I agree with you. Winter decides she's gonna handle that. She needs to have a conversation with Simone so she can get down to why Simone felt the need to spin the story in a way that makes Winter look like, oh, Winter and Joy, they pulled Simone to the side. Simone was playing pool with Brian. Hey, Brian. We about to come for you later, Brian. The two ladies pull them aside, and Winter says, I understand that you saw something, it upset you, and you went back and you said something to Joy and Jay, and I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, because I thought you and I were cool. Then Joy steps in, and Joy says, I'm just not understanding why you felt the need to come to me while I was talking to Jay with what you saw as far as Jay going into Winter's room half naked. And this is where I'm like, Simone, you have not made a connection with anyone on this resort, but I really want you to, because I really want you to stay, because I've been calling you, Simone, the awkward attorney for a minute now. But this episode humanized me to you, because there are a lot of insecurities that you're dealing with that, quite frankly, I deal with all the time. So unlike Denice, who was defensive and a touch combative and didn't own her part in whatever and put it back on somebody else, Simone didn't do that. Simone said, listen, I come from a place of insecurity. I don't know my footing here. I feel like a little fish in a big pond. So yeah, I did do that. I did do that because I'm not feeling good right now. I don't know where I stand. And I said some stuff that really wasn't necessary. And Simone, good job, baby girl. Winter lets Simone know that she's hurt. Winter starts crying. And I said, oh, geez, Winter, are you a Cancer? Because I'm a Cancer and I'm quite emotional. I'm very squishy on the inside. So I see myself in you. Anybody who knows Winter, if you are watching, if you're gracing my video with the watch, let me know if you're a Cancer, because I feel that emotional energy, sis. But Winter was crying. Winter, she didn't expect that from Simone, who she was cool with. So she needed a little second to get, herself together. Then Joy starts crying. Child, it's crying and it's healing. Then we pan over to a confessional by Simone. And Simone said, listen, I messed up. I messed up and I did some stuff that I really shouldn't have done. I spun it in a way that it really wasn't like that. And I didn't have to present it to the group like that. But it was a place of insecurity. And she says that she feels envious of Joy and of Winter. She does. She feels envious simply because they're so pretty, they're so cute, they're so dainty, and she doesn't feel she's that. And that's where the envy came in and the emotional reaction that pushed her to tell that story about Winter and Jay. My heart reached out to Simone. It really did. Because I'm looking like, Simone, not only are you an accomplished attorney, published, let you say it, but you're every bit as pretty as Joy and Winter. The softness part comes with vulnerability. That's something you can work on. But girl, Simone is so hard on herself. And that's where I connect with her, because I'm so hard on myself. I'm never smart enough. I'm never pretty enough. No one is going to ever want me the way that I want them. And it's like, Simone, as much as I like you and as much as I connect with you, I don't think this is the platform for you. I think you need to work on yourself before you go on a platform like Ready to Love. Because I think you're amazing, but Simone doesn't think she's as amazing as she most certainly is. It was a really nice scene. Don't get me all, I was about to shed a tear. Don't do me. Winter accepts the apology. Joy is, whoo, breathe again. And I can ever breathe again. Ladies all good and decide to go get some whiskey shots. All right, child. Here with you all. Sorry. Chris tries to call himself, checking Brian over the whole Alicia date. Chris says, why would you do that? If you knew you were not coming back to that girl's room, just hit Alicia up, let her know what's going on, clean it up with Alicia. Why would you do that? Why would you ghost Alicia? Brian says, Brian says, I didn't ghost Alicia, I zombied Alicia. Brian said, I did not ghost Alicia, I zombied Alicia. Get it? If I ghosted Alicia, it means I'm not coming back, I'm dead. Zombied be like, there's still some life, but kind of partial life. I said, listen, oh my God, Brian, I cannot stand you, but love you at the same time. First of all, Brian is a dark skin and he got a beard and he knows how to shade. Oh my God. Brian, if things don't work out with you on Ready to Love, I was dying. Brian throwing that kind of shade leads me to believe everything that I was saying was absolutely right. Brian does not like that girl like that. But Brian says that rejecting someone is hard for him to do. So he couldn't do that. So he handled it in a way that wasn't cool. And as much as I dislike Alicia, no, you did not handle it in a way that wasn't cool. But I have to say, I connect with Brian in that way because I am super nice. I am super emotional. So if someone is attracted to me or if someone wants to get with me, I'm not the type of person to say, look, I'm not interested. I'll just ignore you until you lose interest. And that's kind of what Brian did with Alicia. I cannot believe he said, I did not ghost her, I zombied her. Now the girls talk and have a conversation. Shay the chef is there and she is the ringleader. And Shay the chef, yeah, I'm convinced the only reason why you are on the show is to carry a damn bone. Shay's telling the ladies what's going down. Alex is there. Shay says, let me tell you, did you hear about that whole date with Brian and Alicia? And Alex is like, yeah, no, I did not hear about it. Shay goes on to drop, the tea about how Brian was supposed to go back to Alicia's room and he didn't. Instead, he made a detour to Alex's room. And the thing that I love about these girls this season, they're not going against one another, with the exception of Denice having a hard-on for Adriana, girl. But they're not going against each other. Alex didn't view it as shade. Alex received it. Alex understood it. Alex said, wait, what did he do? Alex didn't use it as a reason to be, shady towards Alicia, and I get it. Alicia comes in and joins the conversation. Alicia says, was somebody talking about me? I heard my ears ringing. What's up? Shada starts saying, yeah, girl. I was putting Alex up on game about what Brian had did to you. And Alicia said that was some fuck boy shit. Alicia asks Alex, can we go aside and have a conversation? To which Alex says, all right, we can go. We can talk. Alicia pulls Alex to the side and reiterates, he's a fuck boy. He was supposed to come back to my room. Instead, he was in your room. And this plants seeds of doubt for Alex because Alex said, listen, if Brian can do that to Alicia, why wouldn't he do that to me? He could do the same thing to me. And Alex, I highly doubt that Brian would do that to you. But yes, you are absolutely right. It speaks to character. Alex is a little bit, not in her feelings, but unsure about Brian. So while having this conversation with Alex, Alicia says, you know what you should do? You should call Brian to come over here and have a conversation with me. And that's exactly what Alex did. Alex went over to Brian and said, Brian, listen, Alicia wants to talk to you. Alicia talks to Brian and talks about how her feelings were hurt and she was checking for him. She was Beyonce, oh, boy, looking like you like what you see on your I'm gonna make you check up on it. All of that. And Brian says, listen, I should have been upfront with you because you did not deserve that. When you asked me to come back to your room to snuggle and watch TVs for the night, I was not sure that that's the type of commitment that I was trying to make. FYI, I did not like you like that. But I didn't say anything. And that was not fair to you. And Alicia goes on to say, well, you know what this means? This means that I am no longer pursuing you. Brian tried to look concerned, but really what Brian was thinking was, and Lord, Shay the chef is trying to shoot her last shot at Rashid. Shay the chef is drunk as hell and looking like a hot ass fool. Rashid sees what it is and Rashid's like, yeah, no. And Rashid's confessional, Rashid can't even say what he thinks about Shay is, wait, I think, child, no words. Jay and Winter, they're doing the little catch-up thing, and it's nice, and it's grown and sexy. Winter is so pretty. Girl, you pretty. So anyway, Jay and Winter are catching up on what it is, and Jay says there was a lot of drama going on. It had your name and my name attached with it, but it really had nothing to do with you and I. Winter feels empathy for Simone. She understands and she gets it. Jay goes on to talk all this sweet stuff about Miss Winter. He says, a lot of the things that I like, a lot of the personality traits, a lot of the strengths, like I feel you. I'm with you and compass a lot of what I need in my life. And I'm like, oh God. Winter says she loves his quiet strength, and she defines what that quiet strength means. Meaning you can walk into a room, you can command it without saying a word. Jay and Winter. I know Jay is interested in Joy as well, but I don't know if it's the editing, but I see his connection more so with Winter than a Joy. Adriana and Confani, they play Connect 4. They are so cute. Adriana is stuck, between a wall and a hard place because Adriana likes Rashid because Rashid is safe and she's something that she is used to, but at the same time Kalfani is new and Kalfani makes her laugh, and I'm looking at that scene like giggling at these two. It's just the prospect of love that makes me feel so happy for the both of them. This is gonna be a tough one. Rashid, listen, you little Tommy lookalike, you have grown on me. You better go ahead and go get your girl. Go get your girl, Adriana. You about to lose, so you better. Men are deliberating with Tommy in his lounge about who should stay. Should I stay or should I go? Who should stay or who should go? Shout out to Brian McKnight. As far as staying, it's the usual suspects. Adriana, yes. Denise, of course, Naya, because Chris is feeling Naya. And when Edwin is asked, Edwin said, hold on. Hey, Edwin. When Edwin is asked, Edwin said Naya as well. And Chris looks over at Edwin like, this is gonna get good. As far as not feeling, Shay the chef's name comes up multiple times. Child, we don't want her. Simone name comes up, and that comes up from Jay. The whole situation with Simone dropping the tea about Jay going into Winter's room half naked. He wasn't with that. He wasn't with them shenanigans. Rashid brings up Denise. Rashid said, listen, she's trying to assassinate my character, every kind of my character, every parts of my character, calling me as a narcissist. And Alicia. Brian says Alicia. But Tommy called Brian out on his bullshit when he threw Alicia into the pot. Tommy said, Brian, how'd your date ends? And Brian had to tell the truth. Brian had to say that, they made an agreement. He didn't come back as per their agreement. So Tommy's saying, you pissed the girl off, but then you want to throw the girl in, the boat of names of people that, the girls that should be voted off the resort. Tommy's like, nigga, I see you. But anyway, ultimately, the three girls on the chopping block, Shay the chef, Alicia, and Denise. Ultimately, Edwin had the responsibility of sending Shay the chef home, which tickled me pink because she threw the shade first by the pool with Edwin talking and her walking off like she can't be bothered, and she took it very well. Alicia went home. Chris sent Alicia home, and Chris bullshitted his way throughout sending the girl home, talking about, we love a thick girl. Like, Chris, just tell the girl she's going home and stop trying to be like extra suave with it. Like, girl, you are going home. Alicia says, well, this is good for me because I'm very picky. All right, girl. You're picky? Picky or desperate, I guess those terms are interchangeable. Before Alicia walks out, Alicia says, can you help me take my heel out of my shoe? Oh my God, Alicia, oh my God. Alicia stretched her foot for Chris to... When I saw the condition of the shoe that Alicia's big ass foot was trying to slip into. I didn't feel bad for Alicia not being able to walk properly. I felt bad for the shoe. Go home, Alicia. Thank you for watching. If I entertained you just a little bit, can you please rate, comment, and most importantly subscribe? But Chick is trying to get to 1,000 to see if I can monetize this. Can I be absolutely transparent with you? And even if you didn't like me and I pissed you off, please subscribe anyway. And if you don't subscribe, at least rate, so you know these YouTube algorithms can bump me up somewhere. But that is it. I'm hoping you guys have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate every eyeball that eyeballs my videos, and all of you guys leaving comments. I respond to each and every comment, and I appreciate you guys to know. And shout out to my subscriber from the UK watching me and cracking up. That means everything. You guys have a peaceful weekend. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.